On January 30th, 2024, a Houthi cruise missile screamed toward the USS Gravely at 600 miles per hour, just 1 mile away from impact. 4 seconds from destroying the ship and killing 300 sailors, the Phalanx close-in weapon system fired a 3-second burst. The missile exploded midair. This wasn't a drill. This was the first time in history America's last line of defense gun system saved a warship under live fire. And it's just one weapon in an arsenal most people will never see in action. So what exactly are these weapons, and how do they work when bullets start flying? American carriers deploy 5 defensive rings, each designed to kill threats at different ranges. The outermost ring belongs to the SM-6, reaching beyond 250 miles. Inside that, the SM-2 engages at a range of 90 miles. The evolved Sea Sparrow missile, or ESSM, defends at 27 miles. Rolling airframe missiles, or RAM, protect at a range of 7 miles. And when everything else fails, Phalanx fires at point-blank range. The SM-6 represents a revolution in naval warfare. Most missiles do one job. The SM-6 does 3. It shoots down aircraft and cruise missiles at ranges beyond 130 nautical miles. It intercepts ballistic missiles in their terminal phase. And here's what makes adversaries nervous. It can sink enemy warships at distances those ships can't even shoot back. Each one costs nearly $4 million. But the USS Laboon proved every dollar was worth it on December 26, 2023. 3 incoming ballistic missiles, 3 SM-6 launches, 3 kills. For the first time in history, a ship destroyed ballistic threats in combat. What makes this possible is the active radar seeker borrowed from the AIM-120 AMRAAM air-to-air missile. Unlike older systems, the SM-6 doesn't need the ship's radar to illuminate the target all the way to impact. It hunts independently, tracking targets over the horizon, beyond where the launching ship can't even see. That's not just longer range. That's a completely different kind of warfare. Meanwhile, the SM-2 Standard missile has defended Navy ships since the 1980s, and it's proven its reliability in the Red Sea. These medium-range interceptors reach 90 nautical miles using semi-active radar homing. The ship's radar illuminates the target, and the missile rides that reflected energy straight to impact. Since November 2023, SM-2s have fired over 200 times defending against Houthi attacks. The USS Carney alone scored 38 intercepts. Each one costs roughly $2 million. When you're shooting down $2,000 drones with $2 million missiles, the economics don't work long term. But when the alternative is losing ships and sailors, you fire. The evolved Sea Sparrow missile fills a critical gap at 27 miles. 4 of these pack into a single vertical launch cell, compared to one SM-6 or SM-2. That means deeper magazines and sustained firepower when enemies throw everything at once. They're built to stop high-speed maneuvering anti-ship missiles that slip past the outer defenses. Rolling airframe missiles bridge the gap between long-range interceptors and guns. RAM spins in flight like a rifle bullet, accelerating to Mach 2 while pulling 60 Gs. The missile locks onto enemy radar emissions, rides those signals toward the threat, then switches to infrared guidance for the kill, fire, and forget. Every Ford-class carrier mounts multiple 21-round launchers, ready to engage anything closing inside 7 miles. But here's where American engineering gets truly impressive. The Phalanx close-in weapon system operates completely autonomously. It's a self-contained killing machine that makes split-second decisions no human could match. 2 radar antennas work together. The search radar continuously scans at 90 revolutions per minute, and when it detects a threat, the tracking radar locks on with precision. The moment a target enters its 5.5-mile detection range, the computer begins evaluating. Is it inbound? Can it hit the ship? Does its speed match a threat profile? Threats that pass all tests are automatically engaged. Once a missile closes to 1,500 yards, the M61 Vulcan cannon fires 4,500 rounds per minute, about 75 tungsten rounds every second. The system calculates lid angles, adjusts for target speed, and creates a precise cone of destruction exactly where the threat will be. The USS Gravely incident proved this works under pressure. The Houthi missile came within 1 nautical mile, about 6,000 feet. At 600 miles per hour, that's 4 seconds from impact. Phalanx fired a 3-second burst, roughly 225 rounds. The missile disintegrated. But here's the problem. When you shoot down a missile that close, debris still hits the ship. That's why Phalanx is the last resort. It works, but it's a close call. The F-35 Lightning II and FA-18 Super Hornet launch from these decks, carrying precision-guided bombs and air-to-air missiles to targets hundreds of miles inland. But the real defensive backbone lies in the ship-mounted systems that stop incoming threats. Since November 2023, these weapons have faced nearly 400 attacks in the Red Sea. Over $600 million spent on interceptors. The USS Spruance faced the ultimate test: 3 ballistic missiles, 3 cruise missiles, 7 drones, all simultaneously, every weapon fired, every threat eliminated. That's American firepower under real combat conditions. Behind every successful intercept stands a crew working in conditions most people can't imagine. Every day, sailors move weapons through 12 electromagnetic elevators from deep magazines to the flight deck. During Ford's 8-month deployment, the crew maintained hundreds of missiles and millions of rounds of ammunition across 5 different weapon systems. Crews worked 12 to 14-hour shifts loading interceptors into vertical launch cells, maintaining Phalanx systems, and ensuring every weapon stays combat ready. But moving missiles is one thing. Powering them is something else entirely. 2 A-1B nuclear reactors generate 700 megawatts of thermal power each. Combined, they produce over 250 megawatts of electricity, enough to power a city of 100,000 people. But here's the genius. The ship only uses half that capacity. The other half waits in reserve for directed energy weapons and technologies that don't exist yet. This power drives the dual-band radar that tracks hundreds of targets simultaneously while guiding defensive missiles to intercept. It runs the 12 weapons elevators that move tons of ordnance in minutes instead of hours. It launches 45-ton fighters through the EMALS electromagnetic catapult system at 165 miles per hour in 2 seconds. The Ford class features these advanced elevators compared to just 3 on older Nimitz-class ships. That's faster rearming, faster launches, faster kills. The radar systems deserve special recognition. The ANSPY-3 and ANSPY-4 arrays don't just detect targets. They manage the entire battle, tracking threats while coordinating intercepts across multiple weapon systems. This radar can spot a periscope breaking the surface at distances that seem impossible. When threats appear, it doesn't just see them. It prioritizes, assigns weapons, and coordinates kills across the entire strike group. Every system exists for one purpose: delivering firepower faster and more lethal than any adversary can match. But technology means nothing without the Americans who master it. For many sailors aboard Ford's maiden deployment, it was their first time at sea. They learned to operate the world's most complex weapon systems under real combat conditions. The deployment stretched from 6 months to 8. Then orders came. Eastern Mediterranean. No rest. Just the mission. Those sailors spent 239 days away from families. They sailed 83,476 nautical miles. They logged 10,396 sorties. They serve with pride because they understand what's at stake. When these floating fortresses appear on the horizon, entire nations recalculate their strategies. When USS Gerald R. Ford transits international waters, every nation watching understands what it represents. Naval tensions have increased 40% since 2020. China aims to have 6 carriers by 2030. The Indo-Pacific sees American carriers conducting over 150 sorties monthly in contested waters. When Iran threatened shipping lanes, an admiral noted they'd been emboldened by the absence of an American carrier. Its presence alone deters aggression and reassures allies. The 11 American carriers can deploy anywhere, operate indefinitely, and strike targets hundreds of miles inland without foreign permission. China has 3 carriers. Russia has 1, frequently broken. The United Kingdom has 2. India has 2. The gap isn't closing, it's widening, as American carriers add unmanned aircraft, directed energy weapons, and artificial intelligence to already overwhelming advantages. These ships answer disasters with relief operations and terrorist attacks with precision strikes. When authoritarian regimes test boundaries, they receive unmistakable messages: this far and no further. This is what 4,250 sailors protect every day at sea. The weapons aboard America's aircraft carriers preserve peace through strength. They prevent conflicts by making aggression too costly. They protect global commerce, defend allies, and maintain stability that allows freedom to flourish across every ocean. Every sailor serving aboard these ships volunteers for sacrifice most Americans cannot imagine. They do it willingly, proudly, because they understand what hangs in the balance. USS Gerald R. Ford and her sister ships represent the pinnacle of American engineering and determination. As threats evolve and adversaries grow bolder, these vessels ensure America remains the guarantor of freedom on the world's oceans. The next time you see an aircraft carrier on the news, remember, somewhere on that ship, thousands of young Americans work around the clock keeping the world safe. They deserve respect. They've earned gratitude, and they carry forward a tradition that has kept America free for generations.